exercise is the single leg hip thrust. So you are going to use your bench that you have at home to use this. So we did this when we were in person, but we used the bar. And since you don't have a bar and your curl bar has all the grooves, we're just going to do a single leg. So still just as difficult to do. Actually, I think it might be a little bit even more difficult. So you're going to use a dumbbell for this, and the dumbbell is going to be on the leg that is working. So you'll hold the dumbbell whichever way is comfortable. I end up holding it long ways on my leg, but you are going to set up with the bench and then just one dumbbell, and we're going to do 4 sets, 10 to 12 reps on each leg. And then the weight, I put it between 20 to 35 pounds for the dumbbell. You can play around with it. You can start low and start to ramp it up as the sets go on, but really trying to challenge yourself, especially in those last sets, and keeping really good form. So this exercise did have a lot of like small things in the form. If you do recall that, there's just like a lot of small things that you have to remember when doing the whole exercise. So what you want to do is you want to have the bench right underneath your shoulder blades, right in this general area, so right in the middle of your back, and that is where you're hinging from. So it's almost like that is the door and you're just hinging on that point. So the bench should really never leave that point. You never should be going up or down on the bench. So you're going to set up, kind of find that sweet spot, and then you're going to take your legs out to where they're right at hip width. And I'm going to show you first on my right leg. So I'm going to kind of move it in a little bit. It's not going to be out wider than hip width. It's going to be a little in. I'm going to take the weight, lay it on that working leg. This leg is going to be elevated. My opposite arm is out on the bench to kind of help with stability. You're going to let the hips drop down and then bridge all the way up. You want to try to get 90 degrees. And you want to try to think sternum to chin. So your chest to chin. Really squeezing the glutes at the top. Now switch legs. So that is a single leg hip thrust. You want to try to get that good posterior pelvic tilt. So at the top, you want your hips to almost like shift towards your head. So you want to get that good posterior pelvic tilt. Probably was a little hard to see in the video, but that's what you want in that top range, is that good 90 degrees with the posterior pelvic tilt.